Hello there, my dear friends. Let's talk on grounding bed sheets and more. I produced the video Schumann frequency generator 7.83 Hertz. We talked on a device and we measured it. Is it fake or is it the truth? And I got an interesting comment. And this comment is so interesting to talk about that I think it's worth producing this video. And this comment came from Kona 357. Thank you so much for your comment, for your question. Let me read the comment. Thank you so much for the reply. I understand now. And I will follow you and your video. Have you done and test on the grounding bed sheets to see if they are actually emitting the Earth frequency? My dream would be to have a TEM microscope to see the effects of the electrons and the biological cells interacting with these magnetic fields. I guess we can all dream. Again, thank you so much for what you do. I thank you. So many questions, so many theories. Fascinating. Wishing you nothing but positive, loving wavelength. So I would be interested in your opinion on the grounding mats and bed sheets craze. Thank you for this interesting question. So there are some. Let's come to the grounding bed sheets later as the main topic, and there are some things that I answer quickly here. My dream would be to have a TEM microscope to see the effects. Yes, for sure, we will see the effects because all the cells, they are made of molecules. Molecules are made on atoms, and atoms are electrons spinning around the core. So when we have a magnetic field, for sure it has influence. Whether it's that strong, we have not a collider at home where we speed up the electrons in a galactic speed. So I would say for sure we have an effect. But whether we can see it even with a TEM microscope, I think it's not strong enough compared to a big collider. But might be this can be your video project. Probably you get a microscope like this and you make the first discovery. You will change the world. And you are right. So many questions, so many theories. This is absolutely fascinating. And we come in an area where we can't prove things with scientific experiments. We enter a field where we can believe or not. And this is not bad, because I believe in the power of our belief. But today, people are so orientated in scientific proven effects. They need a measurement system to say that something is happening. Probably they don't believe their own experience. They don't believe their belief. They believe more the needle of the instrument, that it shows a deflection. And now let's come to this grounding bed sheets. You said if they are actually emitting the Earth frequency. So in a general way, I would say our Earth is so big. It has its magnetic poles and so many frequencies, whether it's the Schumann frequency, an electromagnetic resonance of 7.83 Hertz that's occurring in our atmosphere, or even the frequencies that are part of our Earth ball. And we are thinking in such a big scale. Our Earth is so huge, but means these frequencies must be everywhere. And when we see this, we might say this grounding bed sheet might be a Faraday cage, at least an open Faraday cage. And we sleep on this. It still can come from above or under us. For example, imagine your bath tube. It's nearly a metal bowl. And you put your radio inside. You still can receive stations because it's not completely closed. And I think we don't have to measure it. Just by thinking, we can get a clue on these grounding bed sheets. The question is, for what will we use it? For example, a knife. You can kill your neighbor, or you can make a wonderful salad and feed your kids. A knife can make both, and even more. What means this grounding bed sheet might offer a lot of possibilities. For example, we lay it on our bed. It is just fabric. It is not an aluminium foil. But let's suppose this fabric has the potential to deflect the waves that come from below. In this case, an aluminium foil might be way better, or a copper foil. But is it really necessary that we reduce the waves that come from below? And when it's not grounded, it doesn't have an effect. So let's suppose we put an aluminium foil, we ground this foil. From above, everything is open. All frequencies will come. And from below, they might reduce some waves. But in such a tiny amount, this is worthless. And as I said, a knife can have 2 and even more functions. When you put this grounding bed sheet in your bed and you think this serves for this task, but it will have a lot of other tasks. For example, we as a human body, there's electricity in us through our nerves. There's water, there's salt, and all these electrical charges. So let's suppose we are talking in the way of believing, but this is quite scientific, sure. Let's suppose our brain is a transmitter and it transmits to our organs and also outside these weak signals. Or let's suppose our brain is not just a transmitter, it is a receiver. It can receive and transmit. And now you have this grounding bed sheet. When our transceiver wants to receive, it can receive from above, but not from below. And when our transceiver wants to transmit, it can transmit to above, but not to below. We are living so much time, mankind and all animals on planet Earth. Was it ever necessary that we have grounding bed sheets? We lived for millions of years and it was not necessary. So I think we as humans are perfectly made for our Earth ball. We live in resonance. What the Earth gives us is perfect, and what we give back is also perfect. Should we change this system? This system is already perfect. Can we double or triple our lifespan? Probably not. Imagine there are people that eat the best food and they still get cancer or any other disease. Was it the lack of these grounding bed sheets? Or was it the lack of the aluminium foil wrapped around their head? And this is not a joke. I mean this serious. When we look to our evolution, we are perfectly made for this planet. And this planet is perfect for us. Even looking at this harmony, this is not needed. When we even look at this perfect harmony by nature, there's no grounding bed sheet needed. Probably these frequencies that we need are still here. But many companies, they want to invent something. To invent crazy things that people say, this is needed. Now this is needed. And as they don't understand the system correctly, they are easily convinced you need this. And when you don't have this, then something important is lacking. And then we think, oh, what I need is not here. Then we feel ourselves weak, fragile. And these are negative thoughts. And when we think negative, we attract negative manifestations. On the other hand, you can even say, when I have this grounding bed sheet, this works like a placebo. I have this is wonderful. And then, because you think it's good, it's good. But you could even lay a stone or a meteorite in your bed and say, when I sleep near the meteorite, this gives me endless lifetime. Because a meteorite flew millions of years through space. It can work as a placebo. I think we enter a space, I call it the unexplored border area, where scientific effects have way less influence than our thoughts. When I think I sleep well, I sleep well. When I think something is bothering, I don't have a good sleep, even nightmares. And let's come back to these grounding bed sheets. When we look, we as a body, I wanted to say this before, we have an electrical system in us. This is what I said, as our brain is a transceiver. It can receive and transmit. Or what about our hands? Are there antennas? We don't know. And when we look at us, for example, the way from here to here, the electrical current has a resistance. The way from here to here is a resistor. What means we don't have the same potential here than here. What means there's also a capacitance between this, and between our legs, and between our feet and our head. This means we are a variable capacitor. People always talk about this grounding effect. But what about we are lying on an aluminium foil or this electric fabric, and we put the capacitor on it? This changes the capacitance. This changes even our frequency. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? Do you have too much capacity, or do you don't have enough capacity? It depends. It depends on what you want. An electrical system, and as I said, we are nearly a coil. We are a wire. And then we have a capacitance. This means we are resonating circuits, and probably not only for one frequency, because the nerves are going in all directions. And imagine what happens in our brain. So many resonant circuits, depending on the thoughts we think. It's all about resonances. And when we wrap foil around us, or when we sleep on a fabric that has electric conductivity, we change the whole system. I don't think that this is good. By nature, we are already perfect. We don't need aluminium foil. I think our body is perfect. It's better to stay isolated to any other electricity. I don't want to sit on an electric chair, and I also don't want to live in a Faraday cage. But this is just my opinion. Can we sleep better when we are in a camping van out of aluminium? I don't know. And it's interesting to think about all these thoughts that might be involved. We can't just focus when there's more ground, then everything is better. When there's too much metal, our way to receive and transmit is disturbed. And when we think like this, we start thinking twice. So I think for this video, we got all needed information. Now come your opinions. Write them in the comments. Is it absolutely crazy to think like this? Or is it possible? Or is it even necessary? You decide. We are in an area that I always call unexplored border area. And we come exactly what our dear viewer Kona 357 said. so many questions, so many theories. It is just fascinating. We will never understand everything. No problem. I can sleep well, even knowing that I'm clueless. Thank you so much for listening until the end. I think we stretched your mind. And now we have enough input that you can find the mystery of the world. Watch my video, Schumann Resonance 7.83 Hertz. You find it in my archive. I even made a brainwave experiment where we reduced all the brainwaves until the theta waves. Very interesting experiment. Yes, lots of stuff is happening on this channel. Thank you that you are part of it. And now you are free to watch all the other videos on my channel.